row. Gotta warm up to that one. Hamlin towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The River Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. When begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago. To see the townsfolk suffer so, vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and licked the soup from the cook's old ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty. And as for your corporation, it's shocking to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic roads ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking to find the remedy we are lacking, for sure as fate will send you packing." At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a guilder I'd my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just he said this, what should hap? At the chamber door but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation now as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister, than a too long opened oyster, save when it knew his paunch grew mutinous, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin. The lips were smile went out and in, there was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table. "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, to crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm for creatures that to people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper." And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, matched with his coat the self-same check, and that scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low and dangled over his vesture so old fangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in Tartaria I fed the cam, last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I ease in Asia than I am, a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere three shrill notes of pipe uttered, he heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the River Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home his commentary. which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as a scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses bright, and moving away pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of concert cupboards, and drawing the corks of train old flasks, and break noots of butter casks. It seemed as if a voice sweeter far than by harp or by Solary's breed called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast dry saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it had come for me, I found the Wester rolling over me. You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells as they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, get long poles, poke up the nest and block up the holes. Poke up the nest and block up the You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells as they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, get long poles, poke up the nest and block up the holes. Consult with carpenters and builders, leave in our town not even a trace of the rats. When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, the first, if you please, by 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too. For council dinners may work havoc with Claret, Moselle, Vin de Grave, Hawk, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butt of Rhenish, to pay the sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes vermin sink. What's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, no matter of money to put in your poke. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't joke. Besides, the losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promised a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and accept the prime of the head cook's pottage. All he's rich in, having left in the caliph's kitchen of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll bait the stiver. And folks who put me in a passion, they find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and fester Bible? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, to his lips again leaned his long pipe and smooth to a cane. An airy blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as if musicians penning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustle that seemed like a bustling, of merry crowds justling and pitching and hustling, small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, like foals in the farmer and barley scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping right merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb and the council stood, as if they're changed from blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by. Could only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosoms beat as the piper turned from the high street, to where the western rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. Howard returned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were into the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, he could not dance a whole of the way. And in after years, if you blame his sadness, he used to say, dull on account since my playmates left, I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights I see, which the piper also promised me. Before he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town and just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers put forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow was bright and peacock here, and dogs around our fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame folk be speedily cured, the music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of the country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, there came into many a burgher's pate a text which says at heaven's gate, hopes the rich at his easy rate, as the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor said east, west, north, and south, talked to the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him. Silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he returned the way he went, to bring the children behind him. But when they saw 'twas lost endeavor, piper and dancer were gone forever. They made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year, these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here, on the 22nd of July, 1376, in a better memory fixed, the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing piper tabor, or short for his future lose his labor, nor suffered they hostelry or tavern, shocked with mirth the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, that in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress, which their neighbors place such stress, to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison, into which they were in Japan, long time ago in a mighty band, out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with old men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats from mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. Hey, hello. I just finished reciting the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Chat me up if you'd like. You can talk to me about anything. World politics, video games, baking, music, art and culture. I'm willing to talk about anything. Well, almost anything, I suppose. I should say that there's probably some, I probably use my discretion. I probably won't engage in any kind of insightful or incendiary kind of conversations. Not overly, well, especially not insightful. Maybe incendiary, but not insightful. Like as in not like insightful. Insightful. That's how much for your left kidney? Huh? Actually, funny thing, I have two kidneys, but one kidney is much smaller than the other kidney. I have abnormal kidneys. If you're interested in that topic. I know this for a fact because I had surgery done on my kidneys when I was younger. And the doctor told me that I have one kidney that's smaller than the other, considerably smaller than the other. I'm not sure which one it is. So if you want to take one of my kidneys, you're gonna have to take. You probably want to take the big one. Yeah, the big one. Yeah, you want the big one. The small one probably won't do you any good. I'm not sure if it's doing me any good. Or I should say, I'm not sure if I'm doing it any good. Kidneys, who needs them? Right? Right? Am I right or right? Am I right or am I right? Who needs them? Kidneys. The superfluous organ. That's what I say. Who needs it? What is it for? Couldn't possibly do anything important. Kidneys. Why would you call them kidney if it was something that's significant or important? Kidney. They should have called it an adult knee. Adult knee. My adult knees are hurting. And then we could have taken them seriously. I have an enlarged adult knees. Adult knees. But kidneys, my God. You can't take those organs seriously. They're like the clowns of the body system. I'll read your comments in a moment here. I'm sort of excited about. I think that one's stuck. I think that bagel stuck to the bottom. It feels weird. It feels like it was overboiled. I'm looking forward to the Apple glasses, AR glasses, and then I can have chat right in front of my face all the time. I think that one was in the bottom too there. Those ones got overboiled. I should have stirred the pot more rigorously. That was a great use of the word rigorously. In my opinion. Kidneys, yeah, kidneys. Adult knees. Yeah. I think the kidneys are pretty important. They do the filtration. They filter all that crap. They take all that crap that the liver, all the poisonous crap the liver wants to get out of your body. All joking aside, I'm pretty sure the kidneys are essential to life. Essential to life. Yeah. Oh yeah, the glasses, yeah. But it'd be helpful if I had the glasses, I could have chat right there, right in front of my face, right? The future. I'm anticipating the future here. I'm looking forward to that. I guess I could buy those. And Amazon just came out with a pair of glasses, but they don't have a heads-up display, which is useless. I don't get that. I don't get why they would make glasses without a heads-up display. whole point. Put the screen right in front of your eyes. So I've been playing some Apple Arcade games. I'm a little disappointed. I don't think they're going to keep that subscription. There's some okay games, but I don't know. I'm way more into Mario Kart Tour right now. It's $5.99. $5.99 a month for that's Canadian dollars though. I think it's $4.99 USD. It's cheap. Like it might be worth keeping because they switch the games out periodically, I guess. And so I don't know. They might get some good games in there. But right now, the games are a little bit, what do you want to say, shameful. It's a disgrace. No, it's not that bad. There's an underwater exploration game. I think I might play that later on tonight, or after. I think I might play it after work today, just for shits and giggles. I just recently purchased a PC, and yeah, so. Hopefully that means I'm going to game more often. I'm already a little bit disappointed with its performance though. I think I might need to buy another graphics card for it eventually. Here I am investing in hardware right when hardware is about to become obsolete with like things like Stadia. Yeah, the computer I just bought it's an i7 4.7 gigahertz. It has an NVIDIA 6 gigabyte or 6 gigahertz graphics card. It has 128 solid drive, solid state drive with a 1 terabyte hard 7200 RPM hard drive. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM. What else is important? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all right now. Yeah. I thought it was a pretty decent system, but it's a little bit slow on certain things. I don't know. Maybe it's just me getting used to using Windows again. I've been a hardcore Apple user for probably 15 years. I haven't owned a PC in like since the 90s. It's a Dell G5. I bought Dell because they have they do financing, and I didn't feel like purchasing this at all at once. So. Dell DL. Yeah, the 90s, man. That was the last time I owned a PC. It was like an Acer. It was like when I was in high school. Yeah, man, I'm an old man. If you're wondering, I'm not generation. I'm right between. I was born right before the millennials started their descent upon the world. So dull. The dull Shiva. Right at the first. Oh yeah, okay. My first PC. We had Macintosh before we had PC in my household. We had the was it the Macintosh SE. The Macintosh. I don't think we ever had the Macintosh, the Apple II. That was a little bit too prehistoric. The Apple SE was the computer my family first bought. And then we bought an Acer, which was that was a piece of crap. Had like a 2 gigabyte hard drive. Back in the day, that was big. 2 gigabyte hard drive. But yeah, I think it had 233 megahertz, not gigahertz. It was 233 megahertz Pentium chip or something like that in it. Pentium. It was like one of the first Intel, mass-produced Intel chips. should turn some music on or something. My hand's too busy right now though, as you can see. Maybe I'll just practice story. Oh, that's okay. I'm a little distracted this morning anyways. I'm going to buy a game headset. Because my gameplay right now lacks commentary, but that is because I have a mic, but I think I need to get a driver. I need to download a driver, but the company that I bought the mic from is they're being tight. Yeah, headset. Yeah, I'm gonna buy like a gaming headset. You know, with a microphone, kind of shit. I don't really want to get like a stationary mic or whatever. I think I just want a headset. So. I'll get I think wireless or whatever, radio wireless. Yeah. I'll be back in one moment.
Okay, nice. Sleep. Sleep is so good. I need to get more sleep. Indeed, I need to get more sleep. Much more sleep. There was once a young man named Roland Pye who played the recorder when he wasn't baking bagels. One day he was walking through a park to rest a while from all his baking when suddenly he spied a corpse lying on the ground beneath a swarm of flies. He put down his recorder, walked over to the corpse, shooed the flies away, and covered the dead man with stones. Returning to his oven later that day, he found that his oven blade had gone on by itself and already baked half the bagels needed. From that day on, Roland Pye was the happiest baker alive. He'd bake until he was tired, and he'd pull his pipe out of his pocket while his oven blade went on by itself. But Roland Pye lived in a town whose mayor did not admire his skill and was jealous of his fame. So the mayor devised a plan to rid the town of Roland. In the beginning, he said that Roland was a good worker, but lazy. Next, he said that Roland baked a whole lot, but badly. Then he accused Roland of being a sorcerer, and the people turned on him. Therefore, Roland Pye took his recorder and left his home behind. When Roland Pye came to a neighboring town, he went to all the business owners, but none of them would give him any work. Finally, he met an old busker and asked him for work to keep body and mind together. "Come along with me," said the old man, "and we will share alms together." So Roland Pye and the old man started going around and singing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves your wealth, although it is gold and good for health. Baker, you are too dirty for a lover to wish to preen. Your limbs are the knots and cords of an old-fashioned machine. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their claws for a thing that is yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Everybody gave alms to the old man. And Roland, they said, "What is a young man like you out begging? Why won't you work for a living?" "Nobody will hire me," replied Roland Pye. "That's what you say. There's a king with so many hungry soldiers that he'll pay good wages to anyone willing to feed them." So Roland Pye went to the king's kitchen and took the old man whose alms he'd been sharing. The oven had never been used on by anyone. Roland mixed the dough, then he rolled it into rings, then he boiled them, dressed them with seeds, baked them until they're golden brown. Then he tossed them into a crate to cool down. Whenever Roland wearied of baking, he'd play his recorder. Once he was weary of playing his recorder, he'd sing, "Baker, why do you bear those silent things? Baker, how did you forget to stand where your feet are? Baker, no woman loves you well, although it is golden and good for health. Baker, line the rings and bash the boards. You don't need their applause for thinking that it's yours. You are a baker, and are what you are, not by a miracle, but by the work of your arms. Baker, be who you are." Hearing the singing, a princess looked out the window. She saw Roland Pye and fell in love with him. But she was a princess, and he a baker. The king would never consent to their marriage. So they decided to run away together. They fled at night in a boat. They were already on the high seas when Roland remembered the busker. He said to his beloved, "We must fetch the old man, since he shared his alms with me. We can't go off and leave him like that."
At that very moment, the old man came up behind the boat, walking on the water as though it were dry land. Reaching the boat, he said, "We agreed to divide everything we had, and I shared everything I owned. Now you have the king's daughter. You must give half of her to me." At this, he gave Roland Pie the knife to cut his bride in two. Roland Pie took the knife with a trembling hand. "You are right," he said. "You are perfectly right." He was on the point of cutting his bride in two, when suddenly the old man stopped him. "Stop! I knew you were a just man. I'm the dead man, mind you, whom you covered with stones. Go now, and may the two of you always be happy." At this, the old man walked away on the waves. The boat came to an island rich in all good things, the princely palace awaiting the newlyweds. The end. The end. This is the end. My beautiful friend. The end. This is the end. My beautiful friend. The end. This is the end. My beautiful friend. The end. The end.
My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, Askins to watch the working of his lie on mine. And most scarce able to afford suppression of the glebe in person scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be sent for with his staff? What saved Whaley with his lies and stare? Old travelers might find him posted there. And ask the road, I guess what skull like laugh would break, or crutch can write my epitaph or pass him in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous track, Joel agree-eyed to the dark tower. Yet acquiescing then turned as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much gladness of end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly try now to rebuke the spring, my heartbeat finding failure in scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes farewell of each friend. Hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and blow fall no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near other days be room enough for this, and when a day suits best to carry the corpse away, care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still a man hears all and all he craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied too oft being writ, so many times among the band of wit, the knights who do dark hours search and dress their steps, that just to fail as they seem best, and all doubtless now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, the hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed. All the day had been a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into his close, yet shot one grim red deer to see the plain catch its stray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, clenched the plain after a pace or two, and pausing for backward the last view, over the safe road was gone, great plain all round, nothing but plain from horizons bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw so starved ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expected here grow, but turtle and spurge according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to law. You think a bird being a checker trove. No penury inertness incremates in some strange sort where the land's portion. See and close your eyes of nature peevishly, and nothing skills. I can't help my case. His last judgment's fire must cure this place. Calcine its clog and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chalk. The vents were jello cells. What made the holes and rents in the dog's heart's forest leaves, bruised as to balk all hope of Venus. 'Tis a brute must walk, passion their life with the roots intense. As for the grass that grew as scarce as hair and leprosy, thin dry blades pricked the mud which underneath was kneaded up with blood. One stiff blind horse, as every golden stare, stood stupefied however he came there, Frusto past service from the devil's stud. Alive, he might be dead for aught I know, with red gaunt and calp neck astrain, and shut eyes beneath the rusty name. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woes. I never saw a brute I hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart. As a man calls for wine before he fights, I asked one draft of earlier, happier sights. Carefully I can hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste full times, it's all to right. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold, an arm in mine to fix me to that place. The way he used, at last, one night's disgrace. Oh, if my heart could fire left it cold. Giles, then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago and knighted first. An honest man should dare, he said he durst. Good, but the scene shifts. Thaw with hangman's hand pinned to his breast of parchment, his own boundaries that poor traitors spit upon me cursed. Better this present than past like that, back therefore to my darkening path. No sound was sight as far as the eye could strain. Will the nights in a howl or a bat, I asked, and something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path, as unexpected as a serpent came, no tides congenial to the glooms. This as a frost by might have been a bath for the fiend's blowing hoof,
to see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with plates and spoons. So petty and so spiteful, all along low scrubby alders kneeled over it, drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of rout despair, a suicidal throng. The river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by to turn no whit. Which while I forded, good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek. Each step or feel the spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard. It may have been a water rat I speared, but it sounded like a baby's shriek. Glad was I to reach out the bank, now for a better country. Vain presage, who were the strugglers, what war did they wage? Whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash? Toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul, sir, what penned them there with all the plain to choose. No footsteps leading to that horrid muse. None out of it, mad bruids set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves, the Turk pits for its pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? That wheel would break, not wheel, that harrow fit to real men's bodies held like silk, with all the air of coffin's tool, on earth left unaware, brought to sharpen his rusty teeth with steel. Then came some scrub ground, once a wood, next to marsh you would seem, now mere earth, desperate and gunless, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches rankling colored gay and grim, now patches where some leanness of the soil is broken in moss or substances like boils. Then came a palsio, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it coils. As far as ever from the end, not from the distance, but the evening not, to point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, appalling its bosom friend, sailed past and beat his wide wings dragging pen, to brush my cap, perchance the guide I saw. For looking up to where I somehow grew, plain to give a place all round the mountains with such names to grace your height and deep cells over the view. How less to surprise me saw the view, how to get from there was no clear case. Yet half I seem to recognize the trick of mission that happened to me. God knows. When in a bad dream, perhaps here ended then progress's way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time came a click as when the trap shuts here in the band. Burningly it came upon me all at once. This was the place, those two eels crouched like two bulls on torn and bordered fight, while to left a tall scalloped mountain, dunce, daughter, dozing at the very nuts, after a lifetime of training for the sight. What in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, blind as a fool's heart, built of brown stone without a counterpart in the whole without counterpart in the whole world. The tempest mocking out points the ship with thus the unseen shelf. He strikes on only when timbers scarred. Not sea, because of night perhaps, why day came back to that. Behind it left behind the sunset, kindled to a cleft. The hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game that day. They'll stab and end the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere, it told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers, my peers. How such was strong, and such was bold, and such was fortunate, each of old. Lost, for a moment now the woe of years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside bent, to view the last of me, the living frame, for one more picture in a sheet of flame. I saw them, but knew them all, and yet, dauntless a slugborn to my lips I sat and blew. Child Roland to a dark tower came.
There was once a rich man who had just one son. The boy was dearly loved by his father. As everybody knows, the greatest scourge on earth for a rich man is work. Therefore, when his son turned 14, the father decided to send him to school to learn the science of laziness. On the same street as the rich man there lived a famous and highly respected professor who had never done a lick of work in his life he could get out of doing. The rich man called on him and found him stretched out in the garden under a fig tree, with a cushion under his head, a cushion under his back, and a cushion under his buttocks. Before talking to him, I must first see how he does, said the rich man to himself, and he hid behind a hedge to observe the man. The professor lay as still as a corpse with his eyes closed. The only time he moved was whenever he heard the thud of a ripe fig falling on the ground near where he lay. He'd reach slowly out, bring the fig to his mouth, and swallow it. Then he wouldn't stir again until another fig fell. This is just the professor my son needs, decided the rich man. He came out from his hiding place, introduced himself, and asked the professor if he'd teach his son the science of laziness. Old man, answered the professor just above a whisper, don't talk so much. It tires me to listen to you. If you want to bring your son up as you and I are, just send him to me. So the rich man went home, took his son by the hand, thrust a feathered pillow under his arm, and led him to the garden. I urge you, he told him, to do everything you see this professor of idleness do. The boy, who already had the inclination for that particular science, also stretched out under the fig tree. Observing his teacher, he saw him reach for every fig that fell and bring it to his mouth. Why should I work myself to death reaching for figs, he thought. He lay there with his mouth wide open. Soon a fig fell into his mouth, and he let it go down slowly. Then he reopened his mouth. Another fig fell. This time it missed. He lay there perfectly still and murmured, why so wide of the mark? Fig fall into my mouth. Seeing how wise his pupil already was, the professor said, go on now. You have nothing to learn from me. You can even teach me something. So the boy went home to his father, who thanked heaven for having given him such a smart son. when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another, and assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure these rights, governments instituted by men, driving their power from the consent of the governed. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for lighter transient causes. And experience accordingly has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer when evils are sufferable than right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they have become accustomed. But when long train of abuses and usurpation, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present kings of England is a history of repeated injuries and usurpation, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Is refused assent to laws most wholesome and necessary for the public good. best, but you don't succeed. You get what you want, but not what you need. You try so hard, but you don't succeed. Stop can reverse. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bone. And I will fix you. Linda was mine till the time I found her, holding Jim, loving him. And Sue came along, loved me strong. So I thought, me and Sue, that died too. Don't know what I will, but until I can find me, girl will stay, won't play games behind me. I'll be what I am. Solitary man. Solitary man. Hot here, big well off the small word. Paper ring, pot kind of thing. How did here, big love where we're not the small thing. Right or wrong, weak or strong. Don't know I will, but till I can find me. Girl will stay, will play games behind me. I'll be what I am, solitary man, solitary man.